Let's talk about Garden of the Gods for a few minutes. This was the latest DLC that Gamigo put out for Archeage, Unchained, and actually I think for Legacy as well. We're going to use the terms DLC pretty liberally here. There's been a whole bunch of controversy, specifically when Archeage Unchained was launched. It was supposed to be buy once, play forever. Basically supported by the credit shop, which was mostly look items, costumes, etc., and what was called the Arch Pass. Arch Pass was a series of quests you could do weekly. It would unlock a number of different things, and you could upgrade that to a premium version, which cost cash money to get those. And the items you got from that was more costumes, things of that nature. Nothing, pay to win, right? That's the mantra everybody looking for. What's pay to win? Pay to win. For people that have played this game since launch, the Arch Pass initially was a disaster. It was exploited, and there's some people that really took advantage and wrecked the economy in some of these servers. Actually, all the initial servers, and it took a long time to kind of right-size that back. But it flushed a lot of gold into the game, a lot of item duplication, etc. So when they announced the Garden of the Gods, I guess 2 months ago, they basically said, we're going to charge for this, and people went nuts. And I think a lot of people quit specifically because of that. And we'll take that apart in two ways, right? One, I think Garden of the Gods is a bad expansion. I think it really sped up the process of people quitting this game. Because if I log in now to the server, it's a ghost town. The problem with that is if you're in the garden, you don't show up on the server because it's an instance. So it may not be as much of a ghost town as we think. It's hard to tell. And that's really what I want to unpack here. So the choice Gamigo made, or really Gamigo didn't make it because they're just representing XL in the United States, is the choice was made to use the instance servers to run the garden. So what happens in Archeage specifically when you enter an instance is things like guild chat, nation chat, those things disappear. You don't show up online. You don't have access to all those things because you basically have moved to a different server cluster. So one, you have isolation. Now you can use things like Discord to communicate with the outside world, but it's still a very isolating thing. And really what happens now is, and it seems like it's the model XL and Gamigo moved to, it's like a lot of AFK content. For myself personally, I find myself, I'll just park myself AFK in the garden, fishing, etc., to get the one daily quest for the rewards, and it just takes time. If we look at the events that XL and Gamigo have been pushing out, they're also AFK type of events. You need to be online for 30 minutes, be online for an hour. So what people invariably do, they'll AFK in spots where you don't get logged out. They'll run macros, which are technically not allowed, but run macros to spin them in a circle so they don't get logged out. But to do that, you get great rewards. So you're rewarding people with bad behavior, just keeping people online, but they're not there. So I'm not sure what we're really accomplishing. So you have the treadmill, the gear treadmill, so people are doing these things because they want to get better gear. But right now, there's not a lot to do with that better gear. We've kind of hit a content wall. Now there are some things like at sea you can do, but the garden itself is a hot mess, and you've seen that because the player base is way down. People don't want to go. There's a lot of people who just don't want to buy it. Now you have the folks that are into Archeage for the economic part of it, and that's great. But from the game content, the structured content, people aren't just doing it, which is a challenge for me because I enjoy the game. But right now, I'm at an impasse where there's not a lot of people to do any of the content. Like just trying to get a group together to do some of the instances or the dungeons. You just can't do it. Now, you could say I could try to, merge some guilds together, etc. But, is that more work than it's worth? Right? There are other games around the corner, other things to play. So I don't know. I'm at an impasse myself right now. I'm sure I'll still be playing it. I enjoy playing with some of the folks in my guild, and I'll be streaming it. But this is a tough one. I'll probably, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a shame. The game's it might potentially die this way. And the other issue is they released a new Fresh Start server. So you had a number of people move there saying, oh, the economy's going to be fine here, it'll be great. But as soon as they launched that, they had introduced one of these new AFK events, and with some very, very good gear at the end. Things like in Mystic Infusions, which are way better than the ones you get through normal content, etc. So allowed people to shoot ahead. So some people think that the lifetime of an Archeage server is about 8 months before people kind of burn out and move on. I think that's interesting. And if you look at where a lot of the servers are now compared to when it launched, we're kind of at that time frame. So I'll be curious to what gamigo/XL may be doing to try to fix this, or is it going to just go off into the sunset like Rift, etc. So it'll be interesting to see. Stay tuned.